Evolution of our band basically started with me writing some songs in Los Angeles and eventually going to Sweden, meeting Max Martin, and that's where I met the rest of the guys in the band, and we put this whole project together. Max Martin was a friend of the guy where I was living at. It was one of his high school friends, and we were all sitting around one night having drinks at a Four Seasons, and everybody's telling me to go to Sweden for the summer. I need to see what a Swedish summer was. And at the time it was so dirt poor, there was just no way that was ever going to happen. And Max, he comes over and he's like, "What are you talking about? Just what's the problem? Is it a money issue for you?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's totally a money problem." He's like, "Don't worry about it. I'll buy your ticket." And he gave me a phone number for a travel agent that night. And the next morning, I didn't believe him, but I called the agent. And she's like, "Yeah, here's the dates that he thought would be good for you to come over. He already called me and told me, so make a plan to come over." He bought the ticket, and that kind of started it. What ended up happening, that wasn't the music part of it though, that was just hanging out, going to Sweden, and then came back to LA, and one of the guys where the house I was living at, we just wanted to write a song and kind of send it back to Martin and say, "This is what I kind of got out of this trip." And we wrote Coming to Terms, which was the first record. We wrote the song Coming to Terms in 15 minutes from some lyrics I was scribbling to myself going on that trip. And we sent that song back to Max. And at that point, he was like, "Look, if you could do 2 more songs like this, I can help you." Met Johan first. Yeah, I met him after we wrote Coming to Terms. We wrote Show Me What I'm Looking For and I'm Not Over. And at that point, Martin was like, "Okay, we got to take this and you got to come to Sweden. If you're going to finish this thing, you got to come over here because I don't want you to be in LA and distracted." So at that point, we went to Sweden. And one of the first people that we call, everybody was talking about Johan. He's such a great keyboard player. He's one of these guys who kind of have scholarships named after him. And we had this crazy idea of doing this kind of heavy synth stuff that needed somebody who could actually play. But we hadn't quite developed it yet. It was just a concept that we had, and all these producer friends were telling us to call Johan, and so we did.
My very first band, Los Runes. First band was 50 Minutes of Fame. We had a 50-minute set list.
We had a cover band with a very twisted outfit thing going on. It was very dark.
It's kind of like Magic Mike inspired.
Yeah, a lot of leather and stuff.
Show Me was not anything we ever thought would be a single. We really thought that was, because when we were working on everything, that was the first song that we had really finished. I'm like, okay, that's done. That song's finished. We don't have to keep working on it. And even with I'm Not Over, that was the second song that was done once we went to Sweden and worked on it. But we had no idea that those would be the songs that kind of connected on the level they did. Well, we're taking a Pro Tools rig in the bus that we have on this tour. We're going to start recording on there. Aside from doing 6 shows a week, we're doing 6 shows a week, and it's very...
Most likely just going to travel with us.
It's one of those things where it's very adventurous for us to say we're going to try and record an EP, but there's a chance, and we have a lot of material now, and maybe we'll have some time while we're driving between shows to finish this stuff. If not, we'll make a good documentary out of it. Whenever it's in the mode where you're in your bus and it's your gear and you're doing it daily, that is honestly one of the best feelings in the world. You wake up in a new city every day, you go and just find some new adventure. There's a new restaurant, there's new people, there's something there. That's
one thing feeds the other when it comes to that, you know. I don't think I would be able to sit in the studio full time. I like being on the road, but I wouldn't do the road
without knowing
either.
Yeah, knowing that the studio is there.
I'm Peter.
I'm Chad.
I'm Johan.
I'm Ricard.
And we are
Carolina Liar.